Good morning, my fellow chatterers and book lovers, and anyone else who's popped in because you're curious about what this is or you've got a bit lost. Welcome, everyone. I'm Chatty. This is my channel, Chatty the Man Chatter, and I am going to be chatting away madly about a mini book haul and also a little story. So I posted yesterday that I was going on a book adventure, and it was amazing. It was such an amazing book adventure. So the wonderful Katie organised a meetup between booktubers, and I was ever so kindly invited to go along to that. So I feel really, really privileged to have been there, and it was amazing. I still feel like I'm buzzing. It is the morning after. A little bit of a nightmare going home, but that's fine. But it was amazing, and I am still buzzing from it. I just had the best time. I met so many new friends. It was just such a delightful way to spend a day with like-minded people who are the warmest, kindest, most welcoming community I know. And it was just amazing. So I have my bag of books here, so I will go through, but I thought it would be fun to just do a little bit of a story time and just tell you about the day. I don't have my mini teacup. It is one shot. There is no editing. I haven't written any notes. So there is a part of me that is worried I might forget stuff, or if I don't mention someone, I'm really sorry. I don't have everyone's details at the moment because we had name labels. It was I loved it. I loved the organisation behind it. I love the fact that we had name labels. But my memory, I cannot remember everyone. I am going to try, and I'm sure things will come back to me, and I'm going to link everyone I possibly can in the description box and keep adding to it. But please go and check them out. These are some fantastic people. It was such a range of like bookish tastes that we have. There was such a range of books being bought. I would love to know how many books were bought on this entire trip. It would be so much fun. But I don't have my tiny teacups, and I just wanted to do this while it still felt fresh, while I didn't get distracted by anything else. So I am up early. The rest of the household are sleeping because it's the best time for me to film. So I am a little short on time. I don't have my tiny teacup because it's upstairs and I'm not going to get it. But mini one shot. We could have all the chaos. I have my lovely big mug of tea to help me through this, and I'm just going to go crack on and tell you about the day. So firstly, an enormous thank you for Katie for just taking on this massive enterprise. It was seamless. There was an agenda, there was a clear meeting point, as much as possible. I will go on to that in a moment. And we didn't lose anyone on this book crawl throughout London, and it was just a delight from start to finish. So thank you so much, Katie. I had an amazing, amazing time. So I had a little bit of trouble with trains. It took me longer to get up there, but it's fine. I managed it in the end. But we met in the Waterstones in Piccadilly, in the cafe. Now, it turns out there are several cafes in there. I went to the first one I found, and happened to meet some delightful booktubers there. Jen from Jen the Librarian, and Carly from Bell's Books. And I have never met these people before, but it was just instant warmness, book chat, and it was wonderful. But Katie had gone to the other cafe because there were two. So we were a bit of a splinter group, and we're just kind of hanging there. And also Willow from Books and Bow was there, which I felt a little bit starstruck by this because I have been following her from Transgirl April, and been in her comments and things, and so that was absolutely delightful to see her in person. And she is exactly what you would expect from seeing her on her channel. She was wonderful. We all had it was just such an organic book chat. Again, just never met these people before, but it was just, we were just chatting about books, and it was just, and just life in general. It was just so lovely. And then we joined everyone else and went down to the cafe, and there was just suddenly this horde of booktubers down there. It was amazing. Several times as we were going from like bookshop to bookshop, people were like, what is going on? What is this kind of convention? And I think when people explained to the booksellers and other people, I don't necessarily think any of them were any wiser about what was going on. It's just a gaggle of booktubers. But the second bookshop we went to, that's a name I've forgotten. I think it began with an H. So see, like it's already crazy, but I'm sure there will be many other videos about this trip, and people who had the free bags with the books, the beautiful green bags with like gold lettering on them, that was free, apart from poor Em, who did not get one, but she got a bookmark instead, so, and no one else did. So, you know, I think as long as you got a freebie, I think it was fine. But apparently they were just so delighted that we'd gone to their shop, and just thought it was wonderful. So it was just so much bookish joy. I will be releasing a short. I don't know which one's coming first, this one or the short, because as you know, on this channel I cannot edit. I cannot stick things together into a seamless video unless it's a short, because I can do that on my phone on an editing program. So I'm going to do a little short of the day where you will see pictures of, and I'll link it here. I'm going to do the short first. There we go. And I'm going to link it here. So all of like the pictures of the bookshops and little things I'm going to like put into that video. So I decided that I was going to be very, very good, because I need to be. The book situation, I am struggling to find space on my shelves. You think it looks wonderful, but basically those are photograph shelves, these two shelves here. They're not bookshelves. I cannot take over the whole of the shelves as much as I'd like to. When we bought these shelves, the deal was photographs and other things. They're not only my shelves, I have to share them with the rest of my family. I have managed to commandeer two, which are double stacked with books, but that is the end of, and I've snuck in a few, like you see here, we've got my Mistborn trilogy. I snuck in a few little extra gaps in there. So these two are not usually full of books. So I have no more shelf space left. And this kind of one that's not double stacked here, that's my husband's shelf. So I can't put my books on that one. And under my bed is full. It's full. So I'm very much looking forward to doing a video in September when my children have gone back to school, where I'm going to go through my physical TBR again, do an unhaul, and I'm going to show you all the books under my bed and be accountable for all of the books that I've been storing, because when it feels like they go under my bed, it feels like they're not really, I don't really own them yet, so it's okay to just buy a load of books. So I'm going to put them under my bed, and then I'm just going to stop buying books. Haven't done the stop buying books bit yet, apart from when I did the Read What You Own challenge, which I have now finished. If you're interested, it's here. So when I spoke about that, I had, when I got to 24 books, I was allowed 3 books for completing the challenge, and also every time I earned 10 books, I got to bank a book to buy. I have now reached the 30, so that's 10 books. So I've got I had my 2 and 3 because of the T from LGBT. I bought, so I had 2 more books left. I have 2 more books left as a gift for managing this challenge. So my plan was to use my Waterstone points that I have accumulated to buy books. So not spending my own money, only Waterstones. I nearly managed it. There was just one book that was a secondhand and a good deal, and there was another book which I did use my Waterstone points for. So let me go into those ones in the first instance. But the 2 extra books are going under the bed. I can find space for them. They're going under the bed. I will find space for them. It's going to be fine. It's going to be completely fine. So one of the things I was trying to do when I was buying books, one of the criteria I set was I wanted to buy books to help me complete series so I can finish series. So the first book that I managed to get from Waterstones is Secrets of the Stars by Maria Kuznia. So this is the second book in the Ship of Shadows series. So I really enjoyed the Ship of Shadows. I read it last September. That's a long time ago now. But I really enjoyed that book. It was such a fun middle grade. Female pirates on a ship. It was delightful. The magical whimsy was off the charts in that book. It was so fun. Friendship, learning your own strengths, this whole fantastic cast of characters. It was utterly delightful and had one of the, I find, best animal companions, except it's not an animal, in there, which was so cute. So I'm really keen to continue this series. I don't know if it's a duology or if there is more books planned. I will find out when I finish this one. And also look at the cover. It is illustrated by Carl James Mountford, who does wonderful artwork. We have some gold foiling. We have, what's this? It's kind of like it's not a boardwalk, but it's that kind of thing, like a platform, wooden platform for like boats being launched off here. And then we've got some lanterns and characters. We've got some gorgeous like stars along here. And then there's this archway, and then you can see the boat through in this beautiful green with like an orange sky. And then we have this peek through, look, it's got a little window. And then here we have this absolutely gorgeous picture of the boat sailing on like a pinkish sea with these like rocky crags and mountains, and then there's a green hot air balloon, and the sky is green and full of stars, and it is just gorgeous. And here is the back. There we go. So I'm very excited for this one. The other one was a book I had to buy, and you will understand why in a moment. So I really love hardback books. They give me a lot of joy. I just love the feel of them in my hands when I'm reading. It just makes me happy. So when I can, look at the book. I'm not ready to reveal it yet. When I can, I love to get books in hardback. So this book series I feel I'm going to love because it is illustrated by one of my favourite illustrators. It comes highly recommended from one of the middle grade shout out voices in the community, Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin. And I managed to get the first book, because there's 3 books out, and we know hardbacks don't always last forever. I managed to get the first book in hardback off World of Books, so I felt very excited about that one, and have been searching for the second and not been successful as of yet. So I found it's wonderful that in Waterstones, these massive, we went to 2 Waterstones, we began and ended in Waterstones, which was great. And they were huge. Like, seriously, I got lost in the second one. I was wandering around for a little bit going, where's the stairs? But they were so big. So obviously the range of books you get, the choice of books you get to physically see rather than buying off the internet was just amazing in there. It was so fantastic. And so they have a range of hardback books because they haven't sold them all. So I found this book, they found the second book in hardback, whoop, half price. Look at this, half price. So this was £6 and it's a hardback. So this is the second book in the Clock of Stars series by Francesca Gibbon, and it is illustrated by Chris Riddell, who I adore his artwork. It is just so detailed. I love all of the whimsy things in there and it is beautiful. So I'm very excited for this one. Obviously we'll be peeling off these stickers as soon as I can, but I love that it's half price. And also it's signed by the author. So I've got these lovely end pages of, again, mountain range and stars, and there's the kind of moth character there. I don't know the relevance of the moth yet because I haven't read it, but it seems to feature in this series. And there we go, there is Francesca Gibbon's signature there. And Chris Riddell's artwork. So this is called A Clock of Stars Beyond the Mountains. And look, here we go. We have this cast of characters here, and I just adore his illustrations. They're just the clothing, the expressions on the characters' faces, it blows my mind. It just blows my mind just how detailed. Like, I don't understand how long this must take him to do, but they are incredible. So I'm really looking forward to starting this series and reading this series at some point in my life. This is going under the bed. there's no two ways about it. This one's going under the bed. So, because the first one's under the bed, so that would be crazy. And this is the non-planned book, so it's going under the bed. So those are my first two books. I was also looking for some other ones that I didn't find in there, but that was fine. Just drinking some tea because I've been chatting for so long. So yes, that was highly enjoyable. So we went on to the next book stop, and it was just great just kind of chatting to different people. It was so fun to meet people in the face who I have been watching their videos of and chatting in the comments, and seriously everyone was what you would expect, like what you see from their videos. That, you know, warmth and joy is so genuine, it's so there. I didn't presume it wasn't, but it's nice to confirm it. So I met Gareth from Book Songs and Other Magic, which was such a delightful surprise. Really bizarrely, I'd been like chatting, I'd been like responding to like bits and pieces from him, so it was really funny. I was like, oh great, I could actually talk to you about it in the person, because I was thinking it's like we should meet up because I know we're both from the south. And he was just such a warm, I keep using the word warm, but it really was, people were so warm, and just so easy to talk to, and just so friendly, and just like everyone was just like wanting to talk about books, and it was just such an utter delight. It was so lovely to meet him. It was just so easy to talk. You kind of felt like you deepened friendships, and like you'd known them for longer than you have. It was just surreal but wonderful. And I got to meet from Novel Novels, and she was so wonderful. And actually I'm going to give like a bigger shout out to her, because the fact that she was able to do this. So is a huge champion of disability books and books with disability representation, and because she has chronic pain, many other things as well. I'm going to link her video here where she gives her Spoonie story, and did a Spoonies readathon. Spoonies is a term for, I don't know if it's just, I would have to clarify this actually, so I need to recheck my knowledge. I don't know if it's just for people who experience a lot of pain, or if it is for the disability community in general. I am not sure on that, but she has chronic pain, and she was walking from bookshop to bookshop, and I just applaud her. I'm so pleased she was there, because it was so wonderful to meet her. But I think she was incredible for just keeping going, and I really hope that you found it worth all of that. But it was so lovely to see you there. So it was just such joyful, and then just talking to other people and just having wonderful chats about books. So I had a wonderful chat with Leanne about Supertato, which is one of my children's favourite. We collect all of the books, and she works in publishing, and that is one of the books in the publishing houses that they have. So it was so fun to talk to her and talk about middle grade with her. So I can't wait to have more conversations and things about middle grade. And obviously she did say that there is a new Supertato book coming that is going to be amazing, and I cannot wait for that, and my children are going to lose their minds. It's going to be great. If you do not know what Supertato is, it is a picture book. I might have one there, hold on. I do. So this was like the Easter Supertato story. You can't really tell from here because they're all wrapped up like Easter eggs, but let me find a decent picture. Here we go. So this is Supertato. They live in the supermarket, and they hang out there, but usually everything they're doing is disrupted by, hold on, it's coming. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. The evil pea. Because some vegetables are frozen for a very good reading, because otherwise they go bad, very bad. I love the evil pea. This is my evil pea voice. You really shouldn't have tried to trick me, you nitwits. I love reading evil pea. So I have a great time reading these with my kids. I love the stories. It's so silly and funny, and it's just joyful. It's vegetables. You're talking about living vegetables. And I can't remember why, but my children really enjoyed the minor character of Carrot, and we I once read it where I put extra lines in for carrot because they were just obsessed with carrots, and we invented a carrot song. There we go. I'm going to stop waffling about vegetables, but love these books. They are so cool. And also love so there we go. Here are the two authors. I've just gone off on a tangent, but I don't care. So here we have Sue Hendra and Paul Lynette. And they also have another series called Ice by Island, which we also love. So that was great fun chatting to Leanne. So that was lovely. So we moved on to many other bookshops, like smaller little ones. We went to the Oxfam charity shop when we were looking around there. It was great, and we had some booktubers kind of like leaving and more coming as we went, and then we went for a meal in Pizza Express, and it was a huge table for us in there, and the waiting staff were fabulous, bless them, because it was a lot for them to bring to bring and take our orders. So tasty. I haven't eaten at Pizza Express for ages, but I had the barbecue burnt ends, which I have to say I was drawn to because of the title. But this was like barbecued beef, barbecue sauce, tomatoes, and onions, and it was so tasty. It was absolutely delicious. So I felt really lucky. I sat next to Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. So again, that felt very surreal because I have been commenting on her videos. I've really enjoyed being part of her book club. But she was absolutely lovely. It was so wonderful to kind of like chat with her. And also Lisa from Lisa's Book World. Some people I can remember their booktube channels, and sadly not everyone. But yeah, and Lisa, I also want to give another shout out to because she came from Ireland. Which was incredible. She definitely, I can't remember who it was, but someone was joking about winning the award for the furthest travelled. She definitely won. So I thought that was wonderful. It was so lovely to chat to Lisa. She is such a sweetheart. We also were all chatting about going to the Globe as well, and theatre and things, so it was so much fun. And I was also in that group was Robyn from Bookends and Biscuits, and she is a sci-fi girl, so it was so great talking. I don't know if actually we didn't actually speak about that much sci-fi, but I am going to be on her channel, like getting lots of sci-fi recommendations. But she was, again, such a sweetheart. I just felt really comfortable around everyone, possibly too comfortable, because I knew she liked mushrooms and one was on my pizza and I just threw it on her pizza just randomly. So I think I just got very, very comfortable with everyone, possibly far too quickly. Possibly the crazy came out a little bit too easily, but I don't think anyone minded too much. But it was so lovely I've never met Lisa or Robyn before or seen their channels, but I'm so delighted to have met them, and I'm definitely going to be following their channels and exploring all of that. So that was amazing. Rob and I bonded over passion fruit. The passion fruit drink that they gave us was so tasty. It was wonderful. And I also got to meet Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe, and this was very much a starstruck moment because I have followed Olivia for a really, really long time, and I adore her channel. I love her reviews. She has got so many amazing thoughts on books, and she's also just a wonderful person. So I did feel slightly starstruck around Olivia, but again, she was just really warm, really chatty. It was really lovely to meet her and talk with her. So it was such a lovely day. Went on to a lot more bookshops, and we went along to Gaze the Word. And I think everyone just had a fantastic time in this independent bookshop. The bookseller was lovely. It was so wonderful. We were actually talking about this at the table, how it's really nice when you have a really passionate and enthusiastic bookseller, and sometimes you have them, sometimes you don't. He was wonderful. He was talking about people's purchases. He was excited about the books they were reading. He was going and helping people and finding books. He was an absolute legend. And as much as I could have easily bought so many books in that shop, there were several that kind of tested me. I was very cute. They had the Lesbian's Guide to Catholic School. They had the paperback and it had like sprayed edges of like roses down the side, and that book has been on my list, but I resisted. However, they had a secondhand section, and so I couldn't like not buy this for £4. So this is Paris Dalencourt is about to crumble, and it is written in a rainbow layer cake. Who doesn't love a rainbow layer cake? And it is by Alexis Hall. I have yet to read an Alexis Hall book, but I really want to. This was £4. £4! And also, you know, it means I'm helping out an independent bookshop. So that made me very happy. So I'm really excited to read this. It's just going to be a cute gay romance with food. So it just sounds adorable. And I also got a trans pin because when I went to the book questions and answers for the Tea within LGBT, I left my denim shirt and it had my trans pin on it. So I am one trans pin down. I do have another one, but that stays on my trans braces, so I don't want to remove that one. So I'd like to have another pin that I can just put on my bags and my shirts. So yeah, so I got both of those from Gaze the Word. And yeah, that's going to go under my bed because it wasn't on my list. And I have another book that is coming. That is the second book that will be my books I'm allowed to buy. And again, wonderful conversations with people in Gaze the Word about different bits and pieces. I could have put so many books on there. It was so good. I also got to chat and talk to another wonderful booktuber, Oliver. Can't remember their channel. I can't remember his channel, but I will definitely find it at some point. But it was so much fun just chatting to everyone in there. It was, and just the range of books. I always love it because there's so many books that you hear about and want to see that you don't always get in bookshops, but you know when you go into a queer bookshop, you have a much better chance of finding them and seeing them in physical form that you can hold and touch and pick up. I found Laura Kate Dale's autobiography, Uncomfortable Labels, and I really loved Laura Kate Dale's anthology of gender euphoria. That book is on my list, but I know my library has it, and it was £13 and it was a paperback. I couldn't justify buying it. But that is definitely one that I want to own. I'm probably going to get out of the library before I own it, but it's on my list of ones I want to own. Unless it's terrible, but I really don't think it's going to be terrible because I adored her writing and I can't wait to read her story. So then we moved on to a few other bookshops and we ended up back in Waterstones. I can't remember, was it Gower Street? I can't remember the name of the Waterstones, but this was huge and I got lost in it. I went off to find the my homing pigeon instincts are, I have a little wander around like the general section and we'll go to other bits and pieces, but I definitely want to, I like to go and find the middle grade. I like to go and find the middle grade and I like to go and find the fantasy. It's where I know, and the young adult. It's where I know I'll be happy. And what's beautiful in these shops is they generally tend to be together. Weirdly, even the adult fantasy kind of like tends to like then join along to the young adult. And this one, like, I can't work out the building. Like, you had stairs that went in and then it petered off to two sides and there were like different levels. And then you went through book arches that were physically made out of books in this shop. Like, I presume books no one wanted to read and like were going to be destroyed. So great recycling of the books. And it was literally, they had glued books in an archway that you walked through. And there were wonderful archways and like nooks and twisting turns. And I found the picture book section. I found the young adult section. I was like, where is the middle grade bit? Where I have lost you. What's going on? I then found it. And then once I was in there, I then could not find my way out. Couldn't find the stairs. It was that big and nooky and twisty turny, and it was utterly delightful. So I highly recommend going along to that Waterstones because I think that one was probably my favourite, more so than the other one. If you don't like getting lost in places, maybe go to the other one. But I preferred this one with its little nooks. It was adorable. The only problem was I got so I didn't take a photo of it, but I got so excited because I found Terry Pratchett's. I own these. I have the Tiffany Aching series, so that's the We Free Men, Hatful of Sky, all of those. I have them with the beautiful Paul Kidby illustrations. They're in paperback. But I have my heart set on these really gorgeous editions that maybe one day I will own, maybe. And they had one. They had a Hatful of Sky. No, they had I Shall Wear Midnight. Just one, and it was in this beautiful black cover with Tiffany, illustrated by Paul Kidby in like she was just drawn in like this like maroony colour on her broomstick, and then you opened up the hardback and there was a map of like where she lives and like the general surrounding area. It was so pretty, but I put it back on the shelf because I do not need it. It's not on my agenda, and maybe I will own the whole set one day, but that was really hard. But I did give a little shriek of joy, and there was no one around to actually share it with, which was really sad. And it slipped my mind when I found people again. But anyway, I had that lovely moment. I also met another booktuber who I have again felt starstruck, and I have been following her channel for a really long time. That's Abby Salter. So it was really fun to see her in person, and I had a few little chats about fantasy books with her, and also I did know her name and I've totally forgotten it. No, I've just subscribed to her channel and watched some of her videos. She's got the fantasy reading nymph. I think it's the reading nymph. She was wonderful as well. I haven't seen her channel before, but I've now subscribed and will be enjoying all of her videos. So talking fantasy with both of those was delightful, and Gareth joined us. And I really hope, Gareth, that you do pick up Assassin's Apprentice and Robin Hobb. Also Malice is fine, but Assassin's Apprentice and Robin Hobb. But yeah, it was again so lovely to talk to these wonderful people about books. It was just delightful. There were just so many lovely people there, and Jack from Spread Book Joy, so absolutely what you expect when you meet her. Jack is such a lovely person, and meeting her, I didn't get to talk to her as much because there was just so many people and it was just so full on, but it felt like I did know her and it was seeing a friend. But obviously I've never met her before, so it's so surreal, but it was utterly delightful to see her. And also Charlie, I've only seen her from watching videos on her channel, and the plod along, and Kit was there, Kit the reader. Again, I felt very starstruck to see Kit because I adore their videos. So it was amazing just seeing all these booktubers that I love their stuff with. And Charlie was wonderful. I had a great time like chatting with Charlie. Didn't get to talk to Kit as much. I think loads of people wanted to talk to Kit, but it was just such a fantastic experience. And I also met two other booktubers that I had a great chat with. Roz and Tilly, who I did not realise were mother and daughter until I watched one of Roz's videos coming back. I just thought they were really close friends and obviously met up with each other. So there you go. Weirdly, Roz lives really near me. It was so funny how like close she lives, and how we also work in a very similar field as well. So that was really cool. I can't wait to watch all of their Jane Austen stuff. I think it's going to be awesome. And I also had a wonderful chat with Tilly. She is a lovely person. I have never met either of them before, but they were so wonderful and I could just easily chat with them all day. And in one of the pictures, I think, which is going to be on this little reel that I make, I found a pint of tea in Waterstones. So when I finally found my way out of the middle grade section and find my way down to the tea shop, which was really cool. Kind of looks like you're in a bit of like a junk room warehouse. But it's a great vibe, wonderful vibe in there. You're also surrounded by all the games as well, which was quite interesting. But there was a really big table, which was great because there was still quite a lot of us at that point. And And I was like, well, I just need a tea. I need a tea. It was the final point in our stop. And there was a tea was £2.50. But £2, it said £2.70, but they said £2.60 to me. You can get it in a pint. It comes in pints. I'm getting one. Beautiful Lord of the Rings moment there. So I had a pint of tea. It was insane. And then Roz and Tilly also got pints of tea as well. So that was great. I didn't manage to drink my whole pint of tea. I went and asked for a takeaway cup because I did not realise the time. I thought it was about 4 o'clock. Turned out it was 5:30. And I was supposed to get a train in 4 minutes. And I was 48 minutes away, according to Google, from the train station. So I did not get that train. So that was a large whoops, mainly because I had someone looking after my children that day because my husband was also out. So a friend was looking after them. She was amazing. She was beautiful. She's like, don't worry, they're fine. It's great. Just come back when you can. Unfortunately, got to the train station and the train to Brighton was cancelled. There were protests, 3 different protests on the train lines. So they stopped all the Brighton services. We then managed to get as far as East Croydon, and then there was a train. We got to 3 Bridges. Yay if you love train stories. Sorry if you don't, but I'm telling you anyway. And then at 3 Bridges, there was no service to Brighton. It was all stopped. So I was there at 3 Bridges going, I'm so sorry. I have no idea when I'm going to be back. Eventually we did get on a train, squashed like sardines, and I did make it. I did make it home. Me and my children. And my children went to bed at 10. So what a wonderful adventure. But there was one more book that I did manage to find in Waterstones, so it was in this one. So this is the other book that I'm gifting myself, and it's going to help me continue a series. I'm also super hyped for this because I watched Em's video where she raved about this book, and that is Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn. So this is the second book in, don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or if it's going to be a bit longer, but the Legendborn series. First book being Legendborn. I read Legendborn 2 years ago now, I think it was. Loved it. I really enjoyed it. I loved the Arthur links. I loved the magic systems. I loved Bree. I loved the representation of grief. I loved her family. I loved the exploration of racism and the kind of this elitist feeling, and just this like how that was kind of explored in here. It was just, and also just, it was just fun. The characters were really fun. Their kind of magical concept was fun. I suppose one thing was I didn't quite get like the threat, because it was kind of more like faceless demons rather than a growing power. But I feel that there is kind of an edge to it. I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to spoil it, but I feel there is going to be more. I feel like there is a different threat that you're kind of not looking for. So I'm really keen to see how this story plays out. So I'm very excited. So yes, this one is going on my shelf. So I was very happy to have got my hands on it. So yeah, it was a delightful day. I think I've remembered to say everything I wanted to. There are possibly booktubers that I have missed out. But when I keep finding their channels and things, I'm going to add them all in and just look out for other people's videos about this day, because it was so fun. It was so fun. So I just want to thank, again, I'm just going to thank Katie so much for organising it. It was an amazing experience. It was utterly amazing. Talking books with bookie people, going around bookshops with bookie people, I just think you can't beat it. I just think you can't beat it. And again, the booktube community is just the best community ever. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to chat about whatever you like in the comments. And happy reading, everyone.